welcome. I'm John Lee. We're here with Katharyn Davis and some other board members from St. Louis Real Estate Investors Association. What is today? November the 3rd, 2023.
Yeah.
And we're really happy to have Kathy. I know you have some updates for us today. Would you like to go ahead and just start, I guess?
Yeah, I have a few things, guys, and I'll tell you that first of all, Charter was coming to my office this morning at 8 o'clock to put in a new firewall that was going to take only an hour and 20 to 30 minutes down. And it's still not booted back up. So I had to run home because I really didn't want to miss this call with you because I've missed so many of them. So I don't have my work computer with me to tell me everything that I want to talk about, but let me see if I can wing it. John and Laura were with us a few days ago when the St. Louis Housing Providers Coalition, which I think is our name now, met with a representative from Board of Alderman President Megan Green's office, a woman named Christina Garmandaria, who apparently knows everything. And it was just the point of the meeting was to open a dialogue. She apparently had wanted to get the names of everybody in this organization, and our organizers were not wanting to give that necessarily out to her, but said she could come to a meeting. And so it was good to have a dialogue with them. I think they've learned a little bit in the city about, first of all, virulent voter reaction to things like homeless people pooping in your yard. And, which, yeah, no, not happening. And secondly, that some of the tenants' rights things that they are proposing are just not going to be very popular. We've talked before a little bit about the tenants' right to counsel bill. And the city has funded $5 million to pay for lawyers for tenants who are being evicted. I think this is problematic on many fronts, but not for me. Lawyers come in and enter for tenants all the time. Sometimes it's easier. Sometimes the tenants are pretty crazy and the lawyer is easier to deal with. And, we're good with that. But the bottom line is if you don't pay your rent, you're going to get evicted. And that's 90 to 95% of our evictions are just straight about the rent. The smaller category of evictions that is unlawful detainers where their tenancy has been terminated, either it's terminated because it's the end of the tenancy, it's the end of the lease or whatever, and that is what it is, or the ones that might be a little bit more interesting for us to prove are the ones where there's a behavior issue or a conduct or that kind of thing going on. And we generally win those too. We screen them pretty carefully. We advise our landlords pretty carefully about what we think will rise to the level of a material breach of the lease. And so if you're doing something bad in your unit and driving all the other tenants crazy and getting police calls and everything, we're probably going to be able to evict you. Doesn't matter whether you have a lawyer or not. We're going to follow state law, and that is what it is. And then there's the very tiny category of evictions that are 441s, which are the ones that we only do if there's like massive police presence, police reports, that kind of thing. And we generally win those too, because again, we screen them carefully and we make sure that we have the goods to get the person out before we even start. So getting lawyers for the people, for these tenants that are being evicted, these poor sad tenants, is probably going to mostly affect the landlords who do pro se, do their own evictions in the city. If lawyers go up against them, they might have a harder time with it. So maybe that means more business for me. I mean, I don't know. But on Friday mornings, if any of you do pro se landlord work in the city, they have mediators there from the law schools and, people like that who can try to help to negotiate an agreement between an unrepresented landlord and an unrepresented tenant. We'll see what happens with that going forward. I'm happy to represent landlords who are doing their own work now, but I also think they should be able to do their own work if they want to. And so we'll see how that goes. But if any of them need our help, we're around, so we'll help them. The later things that they're coming up with that haven't been passed yet, one of them is, a tenant, you have to have good cause to evict a tenant. Well, you have to have good cause to evict a tenant under the law as it is now. And I can tell you in my many, many years of practicing law, which is 38 years. 38. And in my many, many years of practicing law, I have never had a landlord call me up and say, Kathy, I got this tenant, they're really good. They pay the rent. they're nice to the other neighbors, they're quiet, and I want to evict them. You know, nobody, no landlord in their right mind wants to evict a tenant without having some kind of good cause. They're doing bad stuff, they're not paying their rent, you know, whatever it is. You guys generally are pretty sensible about the idea that if you have a good tenant, you're going to hang on to them tooth and nail. And if you don't, you're going to call us or, you know, somebody like us. Hopefully you're calling us, but we're good with it, whoever. So, and I think that there's been a lot of pushback on neighborhood online bulletin boards and, you know, that kind of thing about the whole homeless bill of rights, about tenant things and that kind of thing. But we're going to keep on going with the various groups that we're affiliated with and hope that we can, you know, work out sensible solutions for this. One of the good points I think that we made at the meeting with Ms. Garmendaria was that they've got laws on the books now to go after bad landlords and they don't use them. And I know this in my neighborhood, we've got a bad landlord that owns a building that doesn't, lets their dumpster get over full, and, you know, half the building fell down and rented to an Airbnb that ended up in a running gun battle down Euclid, and, you know, and they won't prosecute them. So what are they going to do to the rest of you? I don't know, but, you know, she seemed a little taken aback by that, and maybe that will give them some thought, is go back to the city councilor's office and find out why they are not prosecuting under their current housing laws that they have. And there's also, of course, the issue that I don't know if any of you have ever tangled with problem properties in the city, but we have landlords who get cited by them for various reasons, some of which are serious and important that the landlord needs to deal with, some not so much. But if the city on the one hand is going to be saying, your property is a problem property and you better get rid of this tenant because they're doing all this bad stuff, or we're going to shut your building down. And on the other hand, they're going to be saying, but we're going to give the tenant a free lawyer and let them fight you in court for years so that you'll continue to be a problem in your neighborhood. Okay, guys, can you get all on the same page down there in the city? Because I don't think it's fair for people, for our landlords to have people, the government coming at them from both sides, the same government. I don't know. It's crazy. So what else do I have for you? Legislature is about to go back in session. I had a couple of legislators contact me about redoing the unlawful detainer statute, but they haven't followed that up. I don't know if that will happen this year or not. I was on the Missouri Bar Legislative Committee call the other day, and it didn't look like anything else was looming that they know of that would affect landlords and what have you. Judy is saying, can't even get the city to board up vacant and kick out squatters. Yeah, they don't take care of their own properties. I don't know why they want to be nosy about everybody else's. You know, get your own 10,000 vacant buildings under control and then come and see us. Yeah, good point. Let's see, what else do I have for you? This is the time of year where we're starting to get, our court dates are starting to be kind of thin on the ground because of Thanksgiving and the Christmas holidays. A lot of judges don't work the last couple of weeks of Christmas, or they work, but they're not having court then. It might be bad optics to be kicking people out on Christmas Eve. So often the sheriffs will not do evictions the last week or two of the year. I know that we only have one court date in December in St. Louis County. I think we have more in the city, but in the county, we're going to pick right back up the first week of January. But in the city, the judges in the two associate civil divisions are swapping out. We're going to be getting Judge Woodiest in Division 28 and Judge Colonna in Division 27. And what that means is the judges move, not the courtrooms. So the judges over Christmas, their stuff will get packed and their desks will be taken and their diplomas or whatever else they have. So it's often a couple of weeks into January before they start back up again. So the point of this is, if you think you have somebody that needs to be evicted, you might want to get on it right away, or you could end up not getting a court date until next year. Or we get a court date, but then we can't, if they want a trial, we can't try it, or we get a judgment, but we can't execute on it promptly because of the sheriff shuts down. So be thinking about that. right now in the county, we're getting November 30th as a court date. And I think in the city, we're getting November 29th. And then, like I said, not too many court dates in December. So we're going to run out of dates pretty quick. Okay, I don't think I have, and we're keeping our same judge in the county. There's been a lot of changes in the county, but fortunately in our division, we're staying the same. And we already have our court dates for the first 6 months of next year, which we're very grateful for. You can imagine that Christine goes and pesters them until they finally give up and just give them to her. Nobody wants Christine in their office every day asking for things. So I don't have anything else, I don't think. Is there anybody that has a question or a comment? Oh, let me make one more point about the right to counsel bill in the city. One of the things that I think is really crazy about it is there's no means testing. So they're going to offer this $5 million worth of legal services to any tenant, regardless of their ability to pay. And I think that's kind of unfair. If we're going to help people, we should help the people that are the most needy, not the people that are renting the $3,000 penthouse in the 100 building on the other side of my alley, you know. Yes, Renee, that's unfair. It should have income limits. And based on what we've heard from Kansas City, where they have this, the $5 million is not going to go a very long way. It's not going to get lawyers for all the tenants. And if they get lawyers who are with the regular not-for-profit groups, they know the deal. We're going to be able to make deals with them. If they get lawyers from, you know, private lawyers who haven't done this kind of work before, we're going to have judgments before they even figure out what's going on. I mean, and they're also going to run through that $5 million pretty quick. That's not very much in legal world. Yeah. Okay. Anybody
Hey,
else?
Kathy. Yeah, I had
Yeah.
a question. I have
Yeah.
a buy and hold property that I have, and the city has issued, I guess, a fine because of the windows. I'm in a owner financing situation, and the person that I'm selling the property to just hasn't fixed it up. I'm sure he's probably going to buy and hold it as well. And so my question is, I've gotten notices from the city. I've gone to 4 virtual appearances about
Yeah.
this and explained it to them, told them what's going on. And so the last time, essentially, I just settled and said, yep, find me guilty. And she said, okay, well, it'll be $350. Fine. I really don't care. I'll fix it at closing. The question I have for you is, they also state in the paperwork that they send you that they're going to issue like a warrant. What does that actually, is that a real warrant or is it, what is that?
Is that a real warrant? That's really a good question. It's not something where they're going to hunt you down like the Texas Rangers. Okay. It is something that if you run a stop sign in the city, no one will pull you over anyway. So it won't matter. But it is something that would show up on the regional database that I think is still called Regis that cops have access to, that might show that you have an outstanding warrant. Whether or not you would get held on something like that is an interesting question now. 10 years ago, I could say, yeah, oh yeah, they'll arrest you and they'll put you on the bus and you'll go from jurisdiction to jurisdiction until the bus ends up at the jurisdiction where you have the warrant at. And that can take a couple of days before you could even call us. Someone could come and get you out. Nowadays, because we've had municipal court reform and everything, I'm not really sure they pick people up on this. Maybe if you have a lot of them. But you should make sure, as part of paying your fine and everything, that you get that warrant recalled. And I think that that information is available to everybody on CaseNet now. Have we talked about CaseNet recently? Have you guys all been able to get on CaseNet and see everything now? Yeah, yeah. Run your name on CaseNet and see what it says about those tickets and if there's an outstanding warrant. If there is, you should get that taken care of just to avoid even the slight chance that some whack cop might pick you up. And if you have problems doing that, call my office and ask for Chris Bosler. And he's the one who does our city municipal work, and he could look for you and figure it out. But don't I wouldn't want to be having a warrant out against me. I'm kind of mouthy, and then I'd mouth off to the cop, and then, you know, it'd be 3 hots and a cot for me.
Yeah, I mean, it worries me, but I also think
Yeah.
it's silly. The issue, I mean, there are many, I mean, to the comment that was made earlier about city and them not even boarding up their own building, But
Right.
yet you're worried about this property that is boarded up and is not bothering anybody, but because, I don't know, the windows may leak or whatever the case is, and there's an inspector, I feel like I was being punished because I'm a active landlord who was attending court and not just ignoring the papers, and then I got a fine for it.
Right.
It just makes no sense.
I totally agree. I totally agree. And if that happens again, don't hesitate to call us and let us see if we can work something out for you. But I hope you
Okay.
get it sold and resolved. Yeah. Anybody else? Okay, I don't know what to do if someone has their hand. How do I do that?
Has his hand up. Does he want to unmute yourself?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll let them speak then. Sorry.
Yeah, how y'all doing? It's like my first time here, so
Hi.
first of all, nice to meet all y'all. Yeah, how y'all doing? To piggyback on what Amber was saying, at the end of the day, it's a money grab. I'm out here in the Georgia market. I'm out here in Douglasville, Georgia, which is 40 minutes west of Atlanta. It's nothing but money grabs now because all the free money they gave out. These cities are hemorrhaging. They're dropping the hammer on all the Airbnb owners out here now. Now, if you're trying to do what they call the house hack thing, where you're trying to rent out rooms, they're putting their HOAs are now putting you under the Airbnb umbrella, and they're foreclosing on homeowners out here in Georgia. So yeah, it's all a money grab at this point. A lot of these people are hemorrhaging financially, and also with the tenants also as well. Just in the Metro Atlanta alone, just from July to September, there's about 12,000 that have been evicted. From January to June, we looked at over 72,000 evictions. We're so backed up here, the attorneys only come to work 2 or 3 days a week, and the evictions that already happened, the sheriffs can't get them out to people's apartments and homes until January next year. That's how backed up they are right now. So yeah, so it's gonna be rough, and I feel for y'all, that's dealing with this because it sucks.
I
And
thank you for your comments,
they're still
Jermon.
gonna find.
You were absolutely
problem.
right. And we had a few years ago this whole municipal court reform thing, and that needed to be done. I mean, there were some things that were going on that weren't good. People being held on minor offenses for months, because they couldn't make bail and that kind of thing. But they've made it a lot more difficult for these little municipalities and for the city of St. Louis to make money off these traffic courts. So they've turned to housing court to make their money, and that's what they're doing. And I'm not sure what the situation is right now in the city, because I had to come home, so I'm not at my office where I could ask Chris, and he's in St. Charles anyway, I think. But the city of St. Louis sheriff was backed up on evictions for a while. I'm under the impression they're more caught up now, like to the point where you can schedule maybe 2-3 weeks out, but I'm not 100% sure about that. The county seems to be on top of it. We do have a lot of evictions right now. It's really kind of amazing. I think people got out of the habit of paying during the pandemic when they could get their ERAP money or their safer money. And we had a guy yesterday in court in a trial with Christine in front of our Judge Newsham. And his basic defense in the trial was, I told the landlord I couldn't pay. I guess they just have to say I can't pay and they get to stay for free. I didn't realize that. Why am I paying? Anyway, I had to go out in the hall because I was laughing. Okay, and then Von Claiborne says, what type of lawyer would I speak with on a permit dispute with the city of Belleville? Okay, we're not licensed in Illinois. There's a guy who shares office space with me named Donald Forth, who is licensed in Illinois, and he has been doing some Illinois evictions and that kind of thing. I'm not 100% sure he does housing court work over there, but you could call him, Donald Forth, and our telephone number is 314-962-1115. Okay, was there someone else that had a hand? Or
I had a quick
Renee? Okay.
comment. Yeah, I'm an out-of-state landlord, so I used to have just real quick about the craziness of some of the St. Louis stuff. We had a building that someone obviously torched because it was a vacant building with no electricity, no nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't even bother to tell us that our building burned down. They didn't do an investigation, but they sure sent an inspector to tell us that we needed to put in handrails even though the building was basically the bricks outside, everything else was rubble. That we needed to put in handrails, that we needed to have this, that, and the other thing for a building. And I'm like, this is a vacant building that's unoccupied. I'm an ex-firefighter and inspector. This is like ridiculous, you know? But yeah, they wanted us to, you know, to fix things that, you know, like not even, they didn't even let us know that our building had burned down. We went a couple weeks later, a couple of us went to look at all our buildings and, you know, to check on our buildings and to, you know, figure stuff out. And we show up and I'm like, there's rubble in our building and the roof is gone. So, just one of those things where I was just flabbergasted that they were like, oh, you need to put in railings. In what?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's amazing to me what some of these inspectors do. I think some of them are not qualified. They're somebody's brother-in-law or that kind of thing. And I'm amazed. I'm amazed at some of the things they write people up for. I've got 2 disputes going on in St. Louis County right now, one with Florissant and one with Delwood, where they've cited people who are no longer owners of the property. And they've cited them months after they sold the property. And I have gone back to my days of just certifying the case and asking for a jury trial, so we'll go to St. Louis County, because I'm tired of going to all these little municipal courts, which are star chambers, and trying to argue with these people. They're idiots. I'll get it to St. Louis County in front of a real judge. I'll do a motion to dismiss and I'll win it. And I'll tell them, if you keep screwing with me, I'm going to sue you. One time, one of these municipalities actually issued a warrant for my partner, Christine Travaglini, because she had formed a corporation for a landlord. That, I mean, she's not in any way responsible for any housing code violations, if there are any. You know, I mean, I was so mad at that woman. That prosecutor. Oh, and that reminds me, I did have one more thing to sort of give you a heads up about. John had asked me about this the other day, and I've looked into it a little bit, and another attorney who's a friend of mine is going to send me some more stuff on it. But this is this new Corporate Transparency Act, and it looks like everybody's, I think you guys have heard about it somewhat. It looks like everybody, including like my law firm corporation and my trustee corporation, are going to have to file all this stuff. So my friend Dave Nyers at Sandberg Phoenix, great lawyer, very expensive, is going to get me some information that I will be able to share with you for free, hopefully by next time. And my understanding is it doesn't go into effect until after the 1st of the year. So we'll still have a little bit of time to work that up. Okay.
Is your information on the website, or can you put it in the chat?
Can I put it in the chat? Let me tell you my number. It's 314-962-1115. And wait, oh, I think I can. This is not my usual computer that I do these things with.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay. I got it. I'll type it in for you. How's that?
I think I just did it.
Oh, you did it. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. I'll see you guys in a month or so, probably. Everybody
Hey,
have a good.
Kathy, I had one last question.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Because it's towards the end of the year. I don't have anybody who's in need of an eviction, I guess. But what is the eviction cutoff time with the courts? Don't they stop like setting dates?
Yeah. Right now, is your property city or county?
General question. I don't have any.
Okay.
Just a general question.
It's not across the board, but right now in the city, I think we have court dates. We have a couple of court dates in December. In the county, our last court date is December 14th. In the county, our first court date after the holidays is the first Thursday of January, which I think is the 4th. And I don't have the dates for the city yet because they're changing judges and we don't have that schedule. And Chris is too nice. Christine goes to the county and like grabs them by the throat and strangles them until they give her the dates. Chris goes into the city and says, oh, can I have the dates yet? And they say no. And he goes, okay. So I'll probably be going down there next week and I might be able to get more information on dates in the city. But yeah, that's coming up. Everybody should be aware. The annual, it's the holidays, so nobody's going to do any work. Yeah.
Kathy,
Okay, guys.
someone had a question. Do you have
Oh,
any
yeah.
comments on the judgment against NAR and Keller
Oh,
Williams?
you know, I don't
this
know a
past
lot
week?
about that whole lawsuit. The the realtor spokeswoman seemed to be pretty convinced that they were going to win on appeal. And that wouldn't be the first time there's been a big judgment that gets overturned. But I don't know too much about it other than that. It was in a different state, not here. So it's not in the courthouse gossip, which is my usual source of information. And I also get very distracted by other prominent lawsuits that are going on across the country. I tend to spend a lot of time looking at those, but I guess they're going to appeal it. I mean, I'm not really sure. I'll try to find out more about that for the next time and talk to you guys, because Apollo Carey, who's the lawyer for the realtors, is a good friend of mine, and we've been talking about something else. More lawsuits have been filed. I heard that, Dermon. It's interesting. I mean, the lawyers think that the piranhas think that the fat cow has waded into the river and they're all glomming onto it. So we'll see what happens with that. I would be sorry to have that happen, I think, because I think the realtors are a good bulwark that funds a lot of litigation that protects landlords and investors. So I hate to see them get tapped for a lot of stuff. I mean, I always thought commissions were commissions. That just thing. Yeah. It might be that you know, it's time for one of those changes in the real estate world where with the internet and everything, maybe you don't need an agent to help you sell your property quite as often, but I don't really know. I would use an agent. I think they provide a good service.
They do a lot of work for what they earn when their occasional paycheck.
Yeah. Yeah.
So well deserved, I think.
And I will tell you that, you know, 90% of the disputes I get in the office are people who tried to do their own paperwork and their own contract, and you know, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. So
Well,
I'll see you.
Really appreciate you coming on, Kathy, and
Next
look
month.
forward to next time.
Have a great Thanksgiving.
Okay, you too.
Okay,
Thank
see
you,
ya.
Kathy.
Take care. Bye-bye. Okay, hey, thank you. It's great having Kathy on. Yeah, she had a lot to get us caught up on, and a lot going on in the court system here and across the country too. So, good thing to keep track of. No, well, before we get going on our haves and wants and everything, Laura, do you have our normal disclaimer for
I
the
do.
day? Thank you.
Good morning and welcome, everyone. First, I'd like to do a bit of housekeeping. Feel free to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. Please be mindful of everyone else by muting yourself while others are speaking. You're welcome to put any contact information that you want to share into the chat. We meet here to share deals, look for deals and solutions we have in need with our real estate. We are not your financial advisors, attorney, or accountants. We do not endorse or recommend any specific solutions or contractors here. You're advised to do your own due diligence to your own satisfaction before you invest. The first Friday of each month is Ask the Attorney with Ms. Katharyn Davis. Our meetings are typically recorded, so only share what you want others to know.
Hey, thank you, Laura. Yeah, and this is as John said earlier, it's the November 3rd, 2023 networking session of St. Louis Real Estate Investors Association. And before we get going, I'll mention a few things of our regular events coming up, other than this Friday, every Friday at 11 o'clock. On the 14th of November, that's the second Tuesday, it's our networking breakfast at the Shack in Creve Coeur from 7 to 9. You can find a link to that, the details on Meetup and on our website, STLREIA.com. And then our main meeting is on the 21st of November at the Shriners from 6:30 to 9 o'clock. And I don't know, John, you got a great speaker lined up for this month. Do you want to say a few words about Charisse Earhart? She's got a well-rounded background in real estate.
Charisse, yeah, she's got she's going to have a good presentation. She was highly recommended from some people in our group. And she's going to talk about some of the stuff that we really need to know, some of the landlord things, and just, I think there should be more. Well, look for your newsletter. I don't have all the details in front of me here. I am going to talk to her one more time, but we also, she's also going to be there to answer your questions. She's got a really detailed presentation. She's going to have a lot of time for questions too. So being this last meeting of the year, I highly recommend that you do show up in person. This is a great time to network and see what's going on for the end of the year next year. So it's
yeah. No, it's good time. I know it's a lot going on. It's the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, so we traditionally don't have as big a crowd, but still the people that are there are going to be dedicated and looking for good information, and should be a good time. So, who wants to start us out today? I know I apologize to Blake had sent me a message earlier in the week, and I just got around to looking at messages. I've had a crazy time this week. I apologize to Blake. I was going to get back to you on contractors, and maybe if you want to unmute yourself first, and then tell us what kind of a contractor you're looking for, and maybe somebody here has a referral for you.
Sure. Thank you, Lloyd. Well, first off, I just want to say it's nice to see everyone. I know it's been a little while since I've been on these Friday calls. As some of you may know, I'm actually a student at the University of Arizona. I'm actually studying real estate. So anyway, I'm in Tucson, but I will be back for this upcoming meeting on the 21st or 22nd. Am I wrong? Anyway, it's nice to see you guys. So what I'm looking into right now is it's a 4-family in Dutchtown. It's a value add. I'm kind of going for a burst strategy. I'm looking to make an offer, and prior to doing so, I would like to have a rehabber kind of walk through with my agent. I do have some photos. They're not, A+ quality, but they, there's like 2. So right now, one of the units is occupied. The other 3 are vacant. There's some kitchen remodels, just some cabinetry, just some plumbing. In the bathroom, and one of them above the shower needs a little bit of, some work. I think I don't want to use, the mold word, but I'm gonna guess that's what it is, given that the drywall right above the shower is cut out. So, there's just some other various different rehab, pretty standard, renovations needed to this house, and I was just looking to see if you guys had any recommendations for that.
Yeah, if anybody's got a good all-around general contractor that could recommend to Blake, we'll put your contact information in the chat there, Blake, and somebody thinks of it later, they can get with you.
So thank you, Lloyd.
Okay. See, we got a couple of people with hands up here. Diamond, you're the first hand up. You want to unmute yourself and tell us what you got?
Hello, good morning. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Okay, good. Well, good morning, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here and a pleasure to be able to speak with each and every one of you all. I am here. Thank you for inviting me. I'm here. I am a cleaning lady. What I do is I do residential cleaning in the St. Louis area. I have been doing it for over a year. I actually grew up cleaning, but additionally I would love to speak to anyone who is needing cleaning services for residential reasons. I'm also in here because I am looking to purchase a home. I'm looking to purchase a home for me and my son. I have a little boy. I am a single mother. I have been through a divorce, and now I'm cleaning up that whole process from going through a divorce, but I am looking to purchase a home, seller financing. And hopefully somebody does have a home in the St. Louis area. I'm looking to be in the Pattonville School District. and hopefully in the price range of about 200,000 to 250. I would love to speak with someone and see if they have any homes here in the St. Louis area that is in the Pattonville School District. I can leave my phone number in the chat, but I would love to speak to anyone who is looking for cleaning services, as well as if they have a home available in the Pattonville School District in the St. Louis area.
Okay, great. Yeah, if you can put that in the chat, and if you want to give a quick contact information just on verbally, so it gets caught on our video here, because a lot of people come and watch these after the fact, and they wouldn't be able to get it off of the chat. So what's a good contact number for you?
It is 314-724-7112.
Okay, 314-724-7112. Very good.
Thank you so much.
Okay, wish you well. Thank you. I may be calling you next time I get a vacancy that needs a residential cleaning.
No,
Let's
sounds
see.
good.
Who else had their hand up here? They took it down. I saw. Did we get your question answered? Or maybe I had to drop off. Anyway, okay.
Oh no, I'm here.
Oh yeah,
no,
go.
I'm here. No, I hit the button by accident. I'm driving. I apologize. I'm driving,
Okay.
so I'm hit the button by accident. Jamone Claiborne. Like I said, it's my first time here. Love the energy of y'all group. I hate to tell y'all gonna be stuck with me now because I like y'all energy of y'all group. Y'all are awesome. I'm out here in Douglasville, Georgia, which is west of Atlanta. Long story short, we're a loan officer and mortgage broker that specializes in purchase money mortgages. I like to take your declined mortgage applicants and turn them into homeowners that you'll be able to refinance in about 12 to 24 months, especially individuals that are looking for a home on the conventional side. I'd love to turn your dead leads into gold for you, and I'll have no problem compensating you for that dead lead if I'm able to get them into a home. And then within 12 to 24 months, I send them right back to you for refinance. Also, I study micro map data, so I know which areas is nosediving, which ones are up and coming. And I'd love to get y'all some data for y'all areas. I do it for free, of course. I don't charge. So y'all definitely reach out to me. My number is area code 404-587-7571. And like I say, I'm looking to network with people outside of my market. Because some of these people in Atlanta, they're out to lunch mentally when it comes to real estate. They don't see the bigger picture. So I'm looking to work with more people outside my market. So y'all reach out to me. Let's have a conversation.
Okay, and your number again was 404-587-7571. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Got it. Oh, thank you for coming on with us, Jerome, and hope to see you on more calls in the future. Okay, who else has something for us today? Most everybody was here to hear Kathy, and I can't blame you. This is she's very informative lady to have on here. We're great to have her with us, and yeah, I know she's been practicing for a long time. I didn't realize it was 38 years, but it's probably been over 30 years ago that she first had. I remember her coming to one of our meetings and had made a great presentation. She even stayed over and did a Saturday seminar for us one Saturday on the Missouri tenant landlord laws, getting us educated, and that's what she's great about that. And it sounds like this event, our main event coming up on 21st, is going to touch on a lot of Missouri tenant landlord laws and kind of pitfalls that, you know, if you're going to be a landlord, you need to be aware of ahead of time so you don't step in any of these little traps that you may not know about. And even if you're not a landlord, if you're a fix and flipper, you know, those exit strategies don't always work out. You may end up being a landlord, even if you don't intend to. So it's good to know what know about the Missouri tenant landlord legislation. So it's a good thing for everybody to know about. And she'd be available for questions too. Yeah, she's got a lot of depth of knowledge in the real estate market and the legal side of it too.
Okay, it looks like we lost Casey. Casey was asking for my email address. Yeah, I'm happy to put it in the chat, but I'm not familiar with
Oops.
Casey.
Casey, okay.
And I do want to say to Diamond, thanks for coming on. I did talk to her the other day, and
Okay.
she was recommended, and I told her to come on to the group. She is looking for a home, and actually, German, I appreciate you coming on too, because you kind of remind me a lot about myself, working with a lot of people for a couple of years, getting them a loan. I used to do that, and I think that's actually how I got involved with investors, because you start working with investors and they look at things a little different way than the average person. So I know the average realtor and the average mortgage broker don't quite think the same way that looks like you are here too, because you just kind of get into the nuts and bolts, because as you know, one size doesn't fit all. Everybody's situation is different, and if you take the time to figure it out and work with them, you'll get a lot further. A lot of times you don't see your money up front, but you do make a lot more in the long run. So I appreciate you coming on here. And yeah, I'll put my email address in there, but Kate, it looks like Casey's gone, so I didn't want to interrupt Kathy earlier. So, but I'll go ahead and I'm happy to do that. So
Okay. Also, before it gets too far along here, I don't want to leave off David Soto. I see he's on here again, and he's one of our supporting Soto Property Solutions is one of our supporting vendors. And I'm also curious, I see on my calendar in November, they got election day as the 7th. Is this your election day that you're? I know you're running for our state representative.
No, my election's not till primary's not till next August.
Next August, okay.
We don't even file till the end of February. So
okay,
yeah.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, tell us about your Soto Property Solutions.
Yeah, we're a property management company. We're based out of Cape Girardeau, but we have an office in St. Louis. We manage property between Sykeston up through Cape County, up to Perry County, and then we jump up into the St. Louis market, going everywhere from Jefferson County up through St. Louis. So we're a full service property management company. What we mean by that is that we handle everything for you. You don't have to be involved at all. I like to tell people that your involvement in the most part is going to be an email from us notifying you that we've deposited your money into your bank account on the 15th, and you have access to your information as to expenses and income for your property for that month. We do reach out to you when we have issues, or to let you know when you're going to have a vacancy. And really, that's all you need to worry about. We take care of everything. So it's really pretty much all hands-on property management. And Lloyd, I just want to say one thing. You had talked about wanting to know if you're a landlord or not, or if you're a landlord, property manager or not. It's amazing how many times I get a landlord making a request that we do something that we got to let them know we can't do that. That's illegal. And they had no idea that that's something that's illegal. Cannot do that. So it's one of the things that we offer, is that we keep up to date with the laws, and we know what can and can't be done. And it's to protect you. I think one of the big ones that you get is, why didn't you charge the tenant for this when they moved out? Well, because a judge is going to say that's normal wear and tear, or you can't prove they did that, or whatever it is. But we have the experience. We've been in business for 15 years, managed well over hundreds of properties. Right now we have about 600 doors. Through the years, we've managed hundreds of properties and thousands of tenants. So, we have the experience, we have the knowledge, and that's what we bring to the table to make sure that you're taken care of. It's our best interest, take care of your property and take care of your tenants. So that's what we do.
Okay, yeah, thank you. It's a tough job. Let me tell you, as a self-managing landlord, that's the reason I'm a member of this organization, to stay up with all the legal aspects of it, and what knowing what landlords can and can't do. So big job, and we appreciate it.
And I'm going to be jumping off here, so you don't have to get on a town hall meeting about the lawsuit and what NAR is going to do about that. So
okay. Well, thank you. Also, let's talk about lenders. I see we got Carrie Curley is on with us today too. She's another alternate for lenders at New Frontier Bank here in St. Charles. You want to tell us a little bit about yourself and your services, Carrie?
Sure. Thank you, Lloyd. I'm Carrie Curley. I'm with New Frontier Bank here in St. Charles. We are a commercial lending bank that finances small to medium-sized businesses. We do investor homes, commercial real estate, lines of credit, equipment, all types of general lending. And if anybody's needing anything, I'd be happy to help. Look me up. I'm 636-940-8740, and my email is carrie.kerley@newfb.com. So I look forward to meeting anyone. Thank you.
Hey. Thank you, Carrie. Yeah, we appreciate your coming on here, and I know you've helped make a presentation for us one time earlier, so appreciate you continuing to stay in contact.
How's your leg, Carrie?
Oh my goodness. I'm still on a walker, if you can believe that.
Right.
It has been a trial. It's been going on 5 months that I've been dealing with a broken femur. And I guess they say, as you get older, it don't heal as quickly as it used to, but I never realized, what cold weather did to bones until I had this happen. So yeah, I'm learning a lot of new things with having this, but go to the doctor next week. I'm still putting a little bit of pressure on it, starting to put, get it up there so where it can, hold my weight and I can take off running. So that's what I'm dealing with. But thanks for asking. I really appreciate it.
Well, we wish you well in your recovery still. We've been
Thank
thinking
you.
about that.
Thanks.
Yeah. Okay, I've been watching the chat here. Anybody else got anything?
Hey, Lloyd, I have a question.
Yeah, John, go ahead.
Looking for a contractor. Just looking for a contractor, a plumber actually, come to a property in North County. Not a big job, but just make some minor repairs.
Yeah, I don't know. Anybody have a contractor specifically for North County? I been typically using Trio Plumbing. They're all over the St. Louis area.
Trio, okay.
Trio, Trio. I mean, you can probably just Google them. It'd take me a few minutes to pull them up. I got them on my.
Yeah, I'll look them up. They put in a water heater for me years ago. So.
Yeah, and they do. That's how I got introduced to them. They're willing to take the what Lowe's and Home Depot offer for water heater installation, and go with it. And that's what I was introduced to. Oh, that's a reasonable price, I thought, what they're offering. So they must work for a reasonable rate. And I found them to be very, very knowledgeable. And in fact, I just had them out last month, I guess it was, and they put some new. I had a new laundry hookup and new shower valves put in my 1973 condo to update the plumbing there. So did a good job there too. Always did quality work.
Thank you.
Hey, and if anybody else has anybody, yeah, welcome to join in here or put a note in the chat for John, because there's more than one plumber in the area. I'm sure there's some other good ones too. Okay. Anybody else got anything for us today? If not, it's coming up on noon here, so I'm about ready for lunch. I was up early, had to get my work van in for inspection this morning, and so I'm ready to take off for lunch. John, you got any last minute comments?
No, I don't really have anything. You may want to mention that we're going to be in a different room on our main meeting.
Oh yeah, I did forget to mention that. It's going to be in the newsletter. I'm working on the newsletter this weekend, and Kristen's got to get a little overloaded. We appreciate Kristen Lumen, who normally does our newsletter, is a little too busy right now, so I'm trying to get it out this weekend. And yeah, we are meeting in different rooms, so if you're used to coming into our room, park in the lower lot. You probably already found if you come to our major meetings at the Shriners, park in the lower lot, and you come straight in the door. This time though, and for November 21st, you're going to need to look to the right before you enter that door. There's another door there, and coming through that door, and immediately to the right, there's an elevator coming up to the 3rd floor. I'm hoping to get there early, get signs plastered all over so people don't get lost. But if you do get there early, you can the room where we Oasis room where we normally meet, they've got their Festival of Trees. So it's another big fundraising event that they've got a lot of Christmas trees with a lot of vendors that have donated prizes. And the minimum price is like $500, and they range up to $10,000 for some of the packages that come along with the trees. It's a Christmas tree with a lot of all the gifts underneath it, and they tell you what kind of gifts they are, though. They're not all wrapped up. But and you can it's a raffle for $1 a ticket. You can put some money into the ones, and you may get a. I know they said they've regularly got a heating and air conditioning contractor that donates an entire heating and air conditioning system, furnace and air conditioner. So that may be well worth putting $1 or $2 of in the lottery banks to they just have a chance to get a new heating and air conditioning system. So anyway, so you get there early. They're open till 8 o'clock. So if you happen to get there early, our meeting starts at 6:30. Having to get have a chance to arrive early, go through the Oasis room. I think it's like $2 a person to go get in, and then $1 a piece for the tickets. So for the lottery tickets. So good luck on that. And if not, we'll have signs to get you right up to the 3rd floor where we're meeting in the air patrol room. We had another nice room at the Shriners there. Okay. Well, thank you all for coming. Really appreciate Kathy's input, and glad we're having it. I'm looking forward to her next month also. She hopes to she said she was going to get us an update on this registration, whatever they call it, for all corporate and entities, as well as folks that have LLCs and corporations that supposedly have to register with our government. Get an update on that too. Okay, well, if you don't see you for breakfast or on the 21st, we'll see you next year. Well, we'll have another chance to get together next Friday on the 10th before we do that. So, do we see you next time? Take care.
Thanks all.